Is this the downfall of Jeffree Star? So many people on TikTok are now talking about this. This is Rich Deluxe with the hottest celebrity news on YouTube. Yep, videos are being made now about the downfall of Jeffree Star. I guess they must need some views, but let's talk about what they're talking about. I'm gonna be breaking it down and also the latest drama that Jeffree Star got himself into. This is Rich Deluxe with the hottest news. Alright guys, so check it out. Jeffree Star recently released a whole bunch of these. Now these are, let me get my eyelashes in check, milky liquid lip balms. I was like, wait, a liquid lip balm? What are you talking about? So he released these and I was like, wait, how is this liquid lip balm different from the Supreme glosses that he already has? So I was like, let me like do a swatch so I can like show y'all. Okay, so this is Jeffree Star Mannequin Liquid. Wait, no, not liquid. It is the Supreme gloss, duh. All right, so here's the packaging. Supreme gloss, these are really cool. Wait, these are really nice. I have a whole bunch of these actually, and it smells like cake. It smells like a cake batter. It smells so good. Okay, so I'm gonna just put a little swatch. You see that? It literally is a lip gloss with lots of pigment, and it gives you that shine. I've been using these for a while. They keep the lips nice and hydrated, and then he came out with these liquid lip balms. So I'm going to show you the new Jeffree Star liquid lip balms, the Milky, and when you put it next to it, this is something like I've noticed. I was like, oh, okay, I get it now. So if you want that whole makeup, no makeup look with lots of skincare benefits, this new, like these are for you. So you can see it here. So it's not as pigmented. And then you have the liquid lip balm that's like a hint of color. And I was like, okay, I get it. So Jeffree Star is taking these shades, right? Let me show you. Like he has these classic bullets, right? So he's taking his classic shades, like let's say Celebrity Skin or Mannequin, right? So you have it in the form of a bullet. Then you have it in the form of a liquid lipstick. Then you have it in the form of a Supreme gloss. Now you have it in the form of a liquid lip balm. So if you want something sheer, opaque, lots of pigment, there's like, I was like, okay, I get it now. It's like, there's something for everybody. Like, let's say, oh, I like that color, but it's just like too much. Well, we have it over here now. And I was like, okay, I get it. I'm not mad at it. I was like, it's genius. Anyways, that's the newest launch from Jeffree Star as of right now. So I wanted to talk, oh, might as well, let me put some on. Here's Jeffree Nude. Okay, I'm gonna put it on right now. Okay, look at that. Okay, so this has lots of skincare ingredients, and I'm just gonna put that on. And it smells like peppermint. You guys, I know I love peppermint. All right, and that's how you can tell the difference between the liquid lip balms and the Supreme gloss. They smell like cake batter, and they smell like peppermint. Okay, so before going any further, I went to Ross, right? And you're like, shut up, get to the tea. Like, we'll get to the minute, girl. I went to Ross, or was it, no, Marshall's. They had the snail mucin, like this, whatever. And I was like, oh my God, it's a freaking snail. And you open it, and then there it is, the freaking moisturizer. And I was like, oh, okay. You know what, I'm gonna be honest with you. The last thing I need is another moisturizer, but honestly, the packaging sold me on this one. That's why I got it. I was like, oh, okay. I get the gig now. It's super cheap. It was like $5, girl, but it's like, whatever. I love the packaging. All right, so let's talk about the Jeffree Star drama. All right, so there's this kid on TikTok, and he's like basically does a downfall of everything, okay? And so I was like, oh, okay, people do that on YouTube as well. But the thing is, like, to call somebody out and say the downfall of, they would have to be relevant, okay? So it's like, all right, so he's taking Jeffree Star, which is super popular, super, like, he gets views the house. I mean, every video gets, like, millions of views, girl. So I was like, all right, Jeffree Star, what is it, the downfall of Jeffree Star? And I'm watching it, and I'm like, but Jeffree Star is literally, and I'm not defending Jeffree, he could defend himself, but he's literally still dropping products, still doing collections. Like, here's the last one I got right here, okay? And I tell everybody about this palette, I'm like, these colors, you just put a little bit on the lid, you brush it out, and it's like drives itself. Like, you don't, it's hardly any blending. It just does the work for you. That's how cool these are. Okay, so anyways, I was like, well, let me watch the video, right? And I'm watching it, and I'm like, well, that makes sense. Okay, I get that part. But at the end of the day, I think that everyone in the beauty industry is struggling. I mean, Kylie Cosmetics can't even sell lipstick to save her life, right? She's trying. But like, I think everybody has taken an economic downturn. I just saw the Q1 results. Even LVMH, Louis Vuitton, has taken a hit. They're down in profits this month. Like LVMH, Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, and they own Fenty, and they own a lot of brands. They own so much stuff. Like, they're also taking hit. So it's like across the board, right? So to sit there and be like, well, you know, Jeffree Star's not selling makeup like it used to be. Duh, hello. A lot of brands are. But anyways, let me show you the receipt. Here we go, roll it.
So I have a master's degree in business, and today I'm going to finally put it to good use by discussing one of my most favorite topics of all time, which is how Jeffree Star went from being one of the most successful influencers of all time, and at the very least, probably the first influencer in history to really build a very successful brand, to now somebody who is on TikTok Live more than Jason Nash and begs for strawberries every day.
And don't drop a strawberry on these fellas, y'all.
Now, if you think we're going to discuss Jeffree Star without discussing the cultural phenomenon that was this palette, you would be incorrect. And if you are somebody that was one of the million people, I should say, that was psychologically manipulated into buying this product, this is a safe space for you. So get out a bag of popcorn, because I'm going to attempt to condense the rise and fall of Jeffree Star and Jeffree Star Cosmetics into one 10-minute video. So Jeffree Star is somebody that became very famous on a platform called MySpace. MySpace was sort of the first social media platform that blew up, and it did result in this first wave of influencers, which at the time that just simply was not a concept that existed. The only way that people were able to garner attention and fame were through traditional methods like being in movies and TV shows, and MySpace was kind of one of those first direct to consumer, if you want to call it, platforms where pretty much anybody with a camera could connect to an audience, and Jeffree Star knew exactly how to take advantage of that. And the other thing that he had a very deep understanding of is the fact that in order to build a personal brand, you don't have to appeal to a large group of people. You can appeal to a very small group of people as long as you are sort of showing up authentically and catering to that audience. And something else that he understood very well is that one of the most cost-effective, if not free ways to generate revenue is through controversy, because attention is essentially a resource that may not provide financial success in itself, but it is something that can be manipulated and transformed into financial success if you do have a marketing or a business mind. And that's something that he did very well. He was very controversial for many reasons. First of all, him as a human being was simply just controversial in the fact that he existed and put himself on the internet, because in the early 2000s, it was simply not popular for men to be wearing makeup. In fact, it was very frowned upon. He very much leaned into this, and he understood the fact that it didn't matter that he wasn't appealing to the mainstream media or 90% of people in America. He was appealing to a very small group of people, and it's something that he did very effectively, and he was able to monetize and create his brand, Jeffree Star Cosmetics. One of the reasons I think that Jeffree Star Cosmetics blew up so quickly was because, once again, it was shrouded in controversy, which will be a theme of Jeffree Star's entire career. So one of the first controversies that Jeffree Star Cosmetics underwent was one with someone named Kat Von D. So Kat Von D was somebody that was friends with Jeffree Star, was initially going to be involved in the business, but they had a personal falling out, and she sort of went on the offense and told the media she connected Jeffree Star with a graphic designer. He ended up stealing the logo, and it was this entire disaster. And it really just ended up helping Jeffree Star, because at the end of the day, yes, it can be uncomfortable to experience this amount of negative publicity, but to a certain extent, all publicity is good publicity, especially when you're a new brand, because you are simply being discussed in the media and being discussed by a very established brand like Kat Von D, Jeffree Star. It sort of legitimizes you, and in the eyes of consumers kind of makes people think, oh, you're on the same level. So I think that this served to legitimize his brand, which I would venture to guess be a light bulb moment for Jeffree Star, where he realized, oh my goodness, controversy sells. But something that I don't think he accounted for is the element of controversy in how successful it can make you is parabolic. So what this means is it's kind of like when we were in school and we learned about parabolas. Up to a certain point, it can grow and it can grow and can cause a lot of short-term success for your business, but at a certain point it peaks. And when something peaks, it's ultimately going to decline. And speaking of the peak of Jeffree Star Cosmetics, I believe it was this palette. This of course brings us to the piglet himself, Shane Dawson. So at the time of the launch of the Conspiracy palette, Shane Dawson was basically known as a very unproblematic person. He was very well liked, which is hilarious to say looking back. And he was also especially famous for basically rehabilitating the reputations of very problematic YouTubers through his documentary series, where he would sort of act in a Diane Sawyer role in a 60 minutes format and do documentary series that showed the different side to the YouTuber that we don't get to see. And it was very effective in formulating public opinion. And they knew that if they just partnered up and went and tried to sell a palette right away, it would have been very controversial, because at the time, Jeffree Star was being attacked, rightfully so, for extreme racist remarks that he made. Very, very disturbing content and videos were coming out about him. So it was very evident that Jeffree Star was toxic at the time. So they knew that in order to actually successfully launch a business and make money, that they first had to completely change the public narrative around Jeffree Star. So before they did the actual series that documented the palette itself, they did a separate documentary series that was simply a PR piece that served to humanize Jeffree Star, visiting his old home, talking about how he was bullied, his life that was fairly traumatic. Ultimately, it did result in public opinion changing and public favorability going up for Jeffree. So then when they did partner up, people had a way better reaction to it. So with Jeffree Star's reputation rehabilitated, and also proof through the views of the first documentary series that this dynamic between Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star was something that people absolutely loved, it gave them the confidence to then do a second documentary series where they basically documented the entire process of launching the conspiracy palette. Watching the series back for this video was extremely difficult, because I could not believe I actually watched this hours and hours of series that had absolutely no substance, completely poorly edited. It was out of order. The timeline made no sense. It was very, very difficult to watch. But what the series did very effectively was basically giving the audience a psychological perception that they were involved in this entire process. And when you do that through the documentary series, which gave viewers a inside look on the beauty industry and shared secrets that are not normally shared, and involved you in the process in a very intimate way, and then additionally literally involved the viewers by doing Twitter polls, asking for opinions on shade ranges, constantly involving the audience to get their feedback, it gives you a sense of ownership. So buying this is not just buying any other product, it's buying the story, it is participating, it's a participation trophy. It is proof that you are part of this entire cultural phenomenon, which really is what it was at the time. The series got 100 million views. It was one of the most popular things on YouTube at the time. They broke Shopify. And I'm not saying that they broke their personal website. The amount of traffic that was on their website broke the Shopify servers, which is impossible to do. It's absolutely mind-blowing, the amount of frenzy that was created around this one product. But unfortunately for Jeffree Star and Shane Dawson, the success wouldn't last long, because very shortly after the success of this palette, they were shrouded in something that was dubbed Dramageddon. So I'm not going to go into all these details, because I honestly don't care and I don't have time, but it was, some people refer to the downfall of the beauty community. It was an absolute disaster. And I think that it was the tipping point where viewers became fatigued. Remember when I talked about the parabola of controversy? That's when the diminishing returns started to happen. Because for me and for a lot of people, they sort of started to realize that every single drama that happened on YouTube, Jeffree Star was the common denominator, and he would then involve himself in situations that he should not have been involved in, and then would step away and say, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. I'm too mature for this. It was extremely exhausting, and I think was sort of the beginning of the end, because as we can see in this image that I will show, the actual internet interest in Jeffree Star Cosmetics completely plummeted in 2020, which was very shortly after the launch of this palette. I don't have any direct evidence that Jeffree Star Cosmetics is not financially successful, but I feel very confident in saying that they are not as successful as they were in 2019. And I think it's very likely that their sales have declined based on their social media engagement and just Google searches, which typically is a very good indicator of an e-commerce business that's attached to a celebrity. And I think it's purely for the fact that people slowly became disinterested in the controversy and the drama and him as an individual, and who really is questionable from a moral standpoint of, is this a good person? Is this somebody that I want to send my money to and support financially, because at the end of the day, I think consumers have become very morally sensible and they want to support businesses that they believe in. And if it is attached to a personal brand, they want it to be somebody that they feel like they can support from an ethical standpoint. And I just don't think that Jeffree Star really is that person. It's not one of those situations where you have an influencer who just slapped their name on something and created crappy products. I mean, objectively, the products are interesting to look at. You can appreciate the industrial design and the creativity that went into them. They're well received by customers. I also think there's something to say about the fact that it's very much fallen out of style, because I think that this very, can we call it clown makeup, is out, and minimalism has kind of taken over. We've seen him try to adapt to this by creating a wedding palette, a neutral palette, and a skincare line, which I think is a little bit out of place in my opinion. But it's very clear that he has noticed that trends have sort of moved away from his original product offerings, and he's trying to adapt, which is what Jeffree Star has done his entire life. He's basically a chameleon that will adapt to every platform. When MySpace died, he jumped ship and went to YouTube. When YouTube died, he jumped ship and now is on TikTok, and he's now on TikTok live every single day. And there could be a slight oversight in me predicting the downfall of Jeffree Star Cosmetics in the fact that I'm Canadian, so I don't have access to TikTok Shop. I have never personally seen the interface. I don't even know what it looks like. So there is a chance that I'm underestimating how many sales they're making on TikTok Shop. But regardless, I think that the fact that he's on live shows that the primary way he's generating sales is through TikTok Shop, which in my opinion is a dangerous place to be. How sustainable is that? How many repeat buyers do you have? Is there consumer loyalty? There's a lot of questions with TikTok Shop that I have. I probably think that Jeffree Star in his heart would agree with me that the Conspiracy Palette was the peak of his brand. And anytime there's a peak, there will be a decline.
Grab a snack and come on back. Okay, so when I watched it, first of all, I want to know what you guys think about that in the comments down below, right? I do think Jeffree Star's biggest mistake is not being back on YouTube, because colleagues, or how would you say, his peers, well, not his competitors, his peers, they're on YouTube. And I'm like, well, you know, they're his peers. They're not his competitors, because you can't compare, or you can't compete. But I'm just saying, like, his peers are on here. And I just think that it was Jeffree Star's biggest mistake is not posting as much on YouTube, because I think that there's an audience here, and Jeffree Star has millions of followers on YouTube, and he doesn't have to post as much as he used to, but like at least a video a month, like, oh, God forbid, you know what I'm saying? And so Tati Westbrook recently posted her live on TikTok. She posted it on YouTube, on her main channel. And it was really nice how she did it. I was like, oh, this is cute. But anyways, I just wanted to like put that out there. Like, I saw the video and I was like, oh, okay, I guess some of that makes sense. But you have to take a step back and look at the scope of it. So many people are taking an economic hit, and only the strong will survive. And Jeffree Star is still, he's not surviving, he's thriving, okay, if you want to call it like that. Launching collections, and you start to look at his peers, and I'm like, these people, they can't get subscribers to save their life. They can't sell lipstick to save their life. And I'm like, Jeffree Star is on TikTok Live, and he's like doing flash sales, pushing product, and people are buying it. And these other girls, they can't keep up. So Jeffree Star is actually doing pretty well for himself. I mean, he's still a multi-millionaire, if not billionaire, international star. But at the end of the day, I don't have to like sit here and defend Jeffree. He can defend himself. So speaking of defend himself, he recently called out Alex Earl, which is another huge TikToker, right? So check this out. So if you don't know, Alex Earl is this famous TikToker. Well, she did a video where she was promoting this lip balm by YSL. And in the description, it said YSL partner. But you're supposed to properly disclose and put hashtag ad, which she didn't do it. So let me show you her original video, her YSL lipstick review. Here we go, roll it.
Did YSL just make another viral lip product? These are their Love Shine lip oil sticks. If you guys remember last year, they had the really viral Candy Glaze, which have been at the top of my top favorite lip products. But this one is a lip oil stick that's supposed to be silky and smooth. I have nothing on my lips right now, so we're gonna try it out. This is the shade 204. These glide right on. My lips look like they're glowing. It almost goes on like a lip balm, but it has this shine. This is the shade 202. This one looks a little darker, so I want to try this out. They just really get it when it comes to the lip products. The shine that it gives, and there's no like gloss or stick. I don't know how to describe it, but it just like goes on like butter. Okay, this 202 I'm really loving. I'm gonna try one more. This is 205. When I'm going out, I love like a deeper color for my lips. I think I'm gonna wear this one out tonight. This just looks so pretty. No lip liner. Oh my gosh, wait, this one is my favorite. This is like the color that I love to wear. I'm deeming 205 as my favorite color here. Oh my gosh, I could just keep applying this all day. This feels so good on your lips. And the way that it just shines, it's not shimmery. I don't really love shimmery products on me, but these are so nice. They did it again. If you loved their candy glaze, you are going to love these. So go check them out. Bye.
So then Jeffree Star saw her video and called her out. So here's Jeffree Star's video. Here we go.
Did YSL just make another viral lip product? These are their Love Shine lip oil sticks.
Okay, baby, I ran to Sephora. I said, Alex Earl, this is a sponsored post, and it really wasn't disclosed. It said hashtag YSL partner, but was Alex Earl paid to say this is a good product? I bought 4 shades of these. They are $45 each. This is the YSL Love Shine. This is basically like a lip oil lipstick. It's a high shine caring moment. Comes in the classic YSL Beauty gold box like this, and when you pull it out, they all look like this. Now the packaging is obviously very cute. Let's look closer. Here is what she's giving. Yes, it is pretty, but it is a metallized plastic. I wish it was actually metal. Okay, this is the shade 204 that she was ranting and raving about. When you pull it off, it looks like this. Have to roll this up. We have to see how much product is in here for $45. Here we go. Oh, okay. Now for a lipstick oil, that's a lot, baby. That's actually a lot. Only issues with influencers or pseudo celebrities reviewing stuff, they're not really reviewing it. They're getting paid. Her video said hashtag YSL partner. Baby, get your bag. There's nothing wrong with that, but I know what these girls are getting paid to do a little 1-minute video. It's astounding. Hold your breath. Don't throw up in your mouth, you guys, but these girls are getting paid at least $150,000 to $300,000. And that's for one post. These brands are shelling out the money, so I just want to see if this product is actually good. There's nothing wrong with sponsored posts, but is she lying? Roll this up slightly. We're not going to overdo it like the other girls, and let's apply. Okay. Okay, so there's a swatch. It's obviously glossy. I don't even know what it feels like. Let's try it. Okay, no cuts and no editing. That went on very quick, very easy. Oh, it's giving like sweet nectar rose. I actually like it. Okay, now let's get to the formula. There's no stickiness. It does not feel gummy or weird. It feels very sleek. It does feel like an oil, and it does feel nourishing, and it's not making my lips feel weird or dry. Let's try another shade. Allegedly, this is her favorite. No, she did say this is her favorite color. 205. Ooh, it looks darker. Let's give it a swirl. No lip liner. Here we go. Okay, there's the color. Let's keep going. Okay, I think we're almost done with the video. Listen, the formula's cute. It's pretty, but like $45? Stop! You want the same effect? Go to Walmart. This is literally the same thing. It may smell different, but baby, you want something shiny and cute? This is literally the same thing. So Alex, get your bag, girl. You know I'm one to never hate. Everyone should be able to do whatever they want and get their checks, baby! But promoting a $45 lip oil, I am screaming. Now listen, I'm wearing Louis Vuitton. You know I'm a bougie ass bitch. But some things are just kind of unnecessary. So YSL, it was a cute idea. I think the packaging's cute. And to me, this isn't really a Jeffree Star approved moment. To me, it's a preference. Do you want to spend $10 or do you want to spend $45? What are you gonna do?
Now I love it. I love that the girls are fighting. Alex Earl, as of time making this video, she has not responded to Jeffree Star at all. She hasn't said anything at all. But I kind of live for the fact that Jeffree Star kind of poked the bear and is calling her out because he's saying what everyone else like wants to say about it. So Alex Earl, she needs to tighten up because I think he will continue to call her out. And she has a huge following. And if he keeps calling her out, more people are going to like get attention and like tap in with him and be like, yeah, it's true. And more people believe Jeffree Star's reviews because he is a multi-millionaire. He's not getting paid to say oh, I love it so much. He's not getting paid to say that, so he actually is giving honest, real reviews. So that's why a lot of people tend to believe him more than some of these influencers. But anyways, let me know what you think about all that drama in the comments down below. This is Rich Lux with the hottest news on YouTube.